All right, so I really want to talk about work-life balance because a lot of people are just putting out a bunch of crap. Work-life balance has been a really popular philosophy in hustle culture. It's been passed down from person to person forever. Here's where it actually comes from though. 1926, Henry Ford, the Industrial Revolution. Ford introduces the 40-hour work week built on what they call the 8-8-8 rule. 8 hours of work, 8 hours of sleep, and 8 hours of personal time. It was designed for factory workers operating heavy machinery on an assembly line. It was designed so that the human body did not break down before it could be useful again the next morning. That's the origin of work-life balance. And in 2026, so many people are still applying that 1926 factory worker schedule. But today, we have digital assets with things that do not require your physical body. They don't break down at the end of your shift, and they don't stop working on 5 p.m. on Friday. The leverage of code and the internet, it doesn't need to reset. When you're in your 20s, here's the math that nobody will say out loud. Time is not an asset that you can get back. Your 20s are not a decade to find balance. They are the only window you have in your life with minimal overhead, minimum dependence, but maximum potential. The people telling you to stop, those are the same people profiting off you. Think about who benefits when you don't work for what you want. So the word burnout, it's become one of the most overused words when it comes to work-life balance. People in their 20s are not burnt out from working too hard. They're exhausted working on things that don't matter to them. Spending 8 hours a day formatting PowerPoints or Excel sheets, it's draining. Getting tired and hating your job at this point, that's not burnout. That's just misalignment. Now imagine you building something on your own system, your own leverage, your own media, your own income. That's also tiring. It's also exhausting. I'm not going to pretend it isn't, but it generates energy for you because there's a real return. Your brain responds much differently when you do things like this. When you love the input and the output, you don't want balance. You want to do more. You want to know what happens next. You want to see numbers go up. If you're genuinely craving balance in your 20s, that's a really big signal. Not about your work ethic or you specifically, but your work. If you want an exit from the 40-hour work week or from the salary that requires your physical presence every single day to get it, you have to compress, let's say, 10 years of your corporate timeline into 1 year of focused obsession. Now, obviously that's not sustainable forever. It's not supposed to be. It's just a season, a sprint with an outcome. Here's how I actually operate when I think about this. I don't balance my time, I just audit it. I track what I do every day. I go, here are the hours I'm building spending on this and this other thing and this other thing. The goal is to look at that and then kind of shift my ratio as I feel fit. To me, that's the only thing that matters, not necessarily balance. Now, I need to tell you what this actually costs if you don't make any moves, because if you don't, you will get blindsided eventually. When you start functioning in this new way of leverage, your friends are going to tell you that you work too much, and they'll stop inviting you to things if you decline enough. They won't understand why you don't want to go to a bar on Friday when you're in the middle of building something. They'll frame it as a problem, as something to fix. That's what I call the invisible phase. It's mandatory. You do not have an option to not go through this when you're building something big. There's no version of life where you build something real and you don't put in the work to get it. Maybe nobody will see you during this phase. Maybe nobody's going to applaud you. That's not the point. External validation is not why you're doing this. This is for you. Most people cannot sustain this focused phase of their life, not because they lack the discipline, but because they lack the ability to operate without external approval. You're at the exact moment of your life where everything is available to you, but it won't be available forever. So if you want the balance, stay in that cubicle. If you want to grow, stay obsessed. Build the exit.